What is up, everybody? What's up? Welcome back to our channels. Welcome back to all the Joypad Jakers out here, and
And the Lance Geek drummers over there.
yeah. This is something new that we're doing. For all my Superman and Lois fans, I like to call this a Superman and Lois retrospective. The show has been off the air right now for about roughly
Eight
7 or 8
months?
months.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
7 or 8 months.
crazy. Yeah, and for you guys watching this on my side, I made that video shortly after Superman Day a few months ago, telling you guys that a lot of my love for Superman now was kind of reinvigorated because of this show. And this whole thing started, I'm kid you guys not, I'm scrolling through TikTok one day and I see one of those stupid things where it says, "Hey, your birth month means you're Superman." And I won't say our birth months so you can't stalk us, but Lance and I over here, we have the same birth month. And the Superman tied to said birth month was Tyler Hoechlin. Sent
Yep.
Lance that picture and said, "I kind of want to watch the show again." And he goes, "I think I'm going to do it." I said, "Hey, let's do something with that." Here we are.
Yep. That's basically about it.
And
Birthday's literally a
yeah,
week apart.
right. And it
Me a
was
few
right
years
after the
earlier,
movie.
but
Yeah, it was right after the movie too, and
yep.
we kind of looked at it and we're like, hey, we're not doing this to get in the movie's face. He liked the movie, I liked it less, but that's not the point. And it's not to get in the face of what Gunn's doing now. It
You
was
still
literally
like
just
Tyler more.
it was literally just a spur of the moment idea.
Yep.
So here we are. Um,
Gonna
you
be
want to kick
delving
us off?
into basically like each episode.
Yeah,
I know people are watching this talking about some dang, how's Lance gonna do this and Ranger Nation and everything else.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and you guys that are watching this on my side, you already know it's a task for me juggling all the content that I do plus my Sunday streams. So you're like, how is he going to add another thing? I don't know. We're going to figure it out.
Yep. I'm figuring it out as we go along. Trust me, this video is about 3 weeks delayed
Yeah,
just because I kept having stuff.
yeah,
My kids are in extracurriculars. This entire week for me has been I have not seen what a television looks like this week at all. I'm doing this based off pure memory because I watched that pilot religiously regardless.
same.
So like I'm going off pure memory. But like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I'm sure on his end he'll attach his socials. I'm gonna
Yep,
attach mine on my end as well.
yep.
Like, share, subscribe, become a channel member today. Send a super thank. Send some money. Yeah,
Yeah,
send some
you,
money if you want to keep
yeah,
seeing this. Yeah, do
yeah.
that.
YouTube is burying both these channels.
Yeah, actually, it's actually been kind of my react. I'm sticking to these Thundermans and Henry Danger reactions because they getting some traction, and I'm actually surprised. You'd be surprised how many people are still interested in like those Nickelodeon show revivals.
Yeah, not my thing, but I mean, I'm glad you're getting something off of it as you stuff your mouth there with cheese.
Well, cheese is like string cheese is amazing.
Oh, it is. I am not denying the quality of string
But you
cheese.
know who else loves string cheese?
Hmm.
Superman, because he grew up on a farm.
Yep. And man, I mean, I don't know. Watching this pilot just brought back all the memories of just binging through that show week to week, enjoying it. And I'll maybe this is a bold statement. I don't know. I think it's probably out of all those Arrowverse adjacent shows that came out within that 12-year period, I think it's the best pilot.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I know
Um,
some people might say the Flash's pilot, slightly edges it out for them. And while that's a great pilot on its own, I think this one just does so many things right. It honestly doesn't even feel like a TV show.
it gives you it gives you movie quality because of the cameras that they used, and I know a lot of people complain about how long this show took to come out. Um, I'm always for it. Like, it, trust me, it was annoying. I hated the wait, like, in the moment, but seeing the
Right.
finished product,
Yeah.
this show out of all the episodes probably had 3 or 4 bad CGI scenes.
Yeah.
And
And even
like
then,
and
like,
rendering and color
yeah.
correction, and even it wasn't that noticeable. It's just something
Right.
that you notice for TV.
Right.
Um,
And a number of them were because of budget cuts where they had no choice.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
and like the fact that this show even got 4 seasons in the years that they had it with COVID, the first two, and then the strikes, and then the WB Discovery mess, and then the buyout. It's a miracle that show got 4 seasons.
Yep. And honestly, for anybody that's gonna get on here and say, "Oh, this is James Gunn's fault," um, honestly,
Nope.
if it wasn't for James Gunn, we wouldn't have got season 4
Nope. That would have
at
ended on a
all.
cliffhanger.
It would have ended on a cliffhanger because the CW did not want the show. The CW did not want the show, and they did not want to put the show on HBO Max.
No, they didn't.
If the CEO of DC, if Gunn and Peter Safran didn't say, just finish the show, y'all can just cut the budget, finish the show. We'll let the CW cut the budget, yada yada yada. However that conversation went, if they literally had to cut the IP cost.
Yeah. And
Now,
they still pulled it off.
do you know how rare that is for a company to like lower their IP cost? Like that's especially for Superman. That's
Superman.
insane.
Yeah, you have what, 5 series regulars in that last season, and that's it.
Yep, just 5 series regulars.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's very low for modern TV.
And then you still got everybody to return.
Yeah.
And I was okay with how it happened. Honestly,
Yeah.
I was okay.
Same here. And when we get to that point in these retrospectives, there's probably gonna be some emotions. But I mean, this pilot itself, within the first few minutes, I knew we were in for something special because of that whole montage that they do.
I love the montage.
Yeah.
The montage is my favorite part of any episode.
Is it just because of that shot that they recreate, or the whole montage period?
The entire montage, because while this isn't an origin story, we're picking up on a Superman who's in his mid 40s, has these 2 teenage sons, an older, more experienced Superman that's been out there. We're getting the rundown of how everything happened. We're not we're not rehashing. Oh yeah, we're gonna spend the whole entire episode when he crashed landed. Yada yada. We're not doing Smallville again.
Nope.
We're doing established Superman, but they aren't leaving us. They're not throwing us in the deep end like they did with the Superman movie. Although there's nothing wrong with that. They're not throwing us in the deep end. They're giving us small little tidbits, kind of like what the Fantastic Four just did, showing us moments from the past, letting us know these versions of the characters. Because while we may have seen these 2 actors, we haven't seen these interpretations.
Right.
So it's giving us just a taste of what went down. And what I liked about this pilot is, like I said, it gave us a taste, and then in later episodes, it gave us more.
Mm-hmm.
We get to find out about how everything went with the kids. We get to see the kind of like teasing of Jonathan being the ones who get powers until we get, thrown for a loop, and it's Jordan.
Yeah.
Like we get to find out, like, oh yeah, Jordan was a problem child when he was a kid. Clark wasn't around as much as he wanted to. We get to see all of that. We get to see the moment when Pa Kent dies and has his heart attack in the middle of town.
Yeah.
Which was insane. Honestly, the beginning of this show, pilot, and then after you in the montage, when Clark getting the call that his mom dies, I said, bro, they cutting deep.
Yeah. And it resonated with a lot of people that are at that point in life, that are, like at that age, that have kids of their own, because there's a lot that they have to juggle, and a lot of them don't, even though they want to think about their own parents, they have things that are in front of them. Life gets in the way. But man, I think what is really special about this too, and you get this throughout the entire series, but especially in this pilot, these characters actually feel like real people, and not, just very lazily written characters, which is what the CW made many of for years. There were certainly good ones, but they actually felt like characters, and the drama didn't feel fake.
They were fleshed
real.
out. They were very fleshed out.
Yeah, you got to see their good parts, but they didn't shy away from these flaws that the characters had. And I'm tired of this whole stipulation of showing a character's flaws on screen makes them like an annoying character or a bad character. It's like, no, like you see their imperfections and what makes them who they are, and you go to appreciate them later for it.
Yep. And honestly, what I loved about this show, and what I loved about the pilot, like in particular, they show that even though he's Superman, he's far from a perfect father.
Oh yeah.
He's basically an absentee father, because well, as we now know, as we learn later on in life, well, later on in the series life or whatever, he's the only superhero that
He's the
this
world's
world
hero.
knows.
Yeah.
He's this world, like literally, he's the entire world's hero. So he's drawn like back and forth to and fro, and the kids, they don't understand it. They think, oh, dad's just gone for work all the time. We're here with mom, and you see that tension. They didn't, bro. The first confrontation after they go back to Smallville for the funeral. That first confrontation when when he first tells them like the truth, tells them the secret, which honestly I did not expect it to happen that fast. I thought we were gonna go a couple episodes. Doing something like that in a first episode of any series is ballsy,
Yeah.
especially when your first episode is this long. It's
Yeah.
ballsy. It's very ballsy, and they didn't do it in the midway point. They did that literally right after the funeral. The funeral
Yeah.
is at the beginning. That is so ballsy, and they pulled it off.
Yeah.
Seeing that tension and stuff, like, oh, acting gold from the kids as well.
Oh
Like
yeah.
Jordan Elsatz and
Alex Garfin. Yeah.
Alex Garfin.
Yeah. They didn't
Excellent.
stretch out the
Excellent.
drama. They didn't stretch it out. They didn't
Nope.
make it meander for like 5 episodes. That's one of the great things about this season and a majority of this show in general. It's so tightly knit and
Yep.
structured. You barely, I would say, there's barely any filler at all.
Yeah.
And one of the things I love too, when you have that confrontation, this is something that happens during multiple points, but whenever there's a character in this show where Superman reveals his identity to them, it's done in the most simple way. Like it's not, shown from this godly perspective of like blasting something or being super strong. He slowly lifts up the truck over his head and then slowly levitates, or he slowly starts flying and just sits there in the air, very gently, very calmly, and that just it checks all the right Superman boxes for me. It's like he has this power, but he also has a heart of gold.
Yeah. And it makes me wonder too, like, Clark, you never took your glasses off in front of your kids before? They never walked in your room when you're asleep. Do you sleep in your glasses?
That's actually a funny visual. Now that you bring that up,
Like they've never seen you without your glasses, and it just goes to show, like in David Cornswell's version, they bring back the Silver Age hypno glasses thing.
Yeah.
And this, like, he's like Jordan tells like straight up, like, oh, you're not Superman. We've seen
him before.
And I'm like, you didn't realize it, like.
Right. But I mean, they play into it, and he even says at a later point, they're like, how does that disguise work? Clark's like, people see who they want to see. They believe what they want to believe. And that's a real thing.
Yep. And honestly, that works. And I love when when anything's Superman, I love when they explain that one aspect of the character. Because it's the same thing with Kara. It was the same thing with Supergirl. People see what they want to see, and even in this, you can say like, oh yeah, the hypno glasses, they mess with your brain, but at the same time, you're gonna see what you want to see. Like I feel as if Perry recognized him at the end of the movie. Perry recognized him. Perry's not an idiot. The way like Perry's not dumb. Like
no.
And it's just crazy. Like that one line in the show made me think about like every other version of Superman and how they explain the whole glasses thing. This show did some amazing things, especially within the first episode, introducing us to every other character and giving us the intro to who we now know is John Henry Irons. We're introducing him as Captain Luthor.
Yeah.
Honestly, the curveballs that Todd Helbing was throwing at us back then. Like, I remember getting all the information about this show, thinking that Wole Parks was gonna be like a black version of Lex Luthor from Forgotten Earth because of Crisis. Yeah. Right. I said, "Oh my goodness!" Then we find out I can't wait to get to that episode. I can't wait to get to that episode
because they leaked that script out like months before the show came out, and everybody was thinking, "Oh, that's what they're doing." We were very wrong.
Very wrong. But like getting that first introduction to him, like seeing him like just show up, like like straight business. Like
Yeah,
the suit looked great.
suit
The
looked
fact
really
that the
good
suit is practical.
and not CG'd a bunch. Yeah.
The
Um,
fact that this suit is practical, but on Supergirl, his Lexa armor, bro,
oof.
look like a clay head popping out.
Yeah, that thing looked way too big for John Cryer,
Yeah,
and he's a
yeah.
little guy to begin with. Um,
And it
but
makes me and honestly, it's funny that it's a fit for like it fits Lex because Lex made it, and
right,
they're letting us know whatever Earth John Henry came from, Michael Cudlitz was also his Lex
right,
Luthor. So
yeah, it
it's
fits in perfectly. Yeah.
yeah,
But we hit a lot of the Superman stuff in this episode. Let's talk about the other character in the title for a minute, Lois Lane.
her introduction was yeah,
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 this quickly became my favorite version of Lois we've gotten.
yeah.
The way she goes after stories, the way she pursues everything going on in Smallville. For the first few episodes, I was kind of getting reminded of Joe West in the first season of The Flash or Quentin Lance throughout Arrow. I was getting a little bit of those impressions, but then she came on to be a lot more than that. We got to see her as a mother done really well, unlike Superman Returns, and she felt like a legitimate
Superman
character
Returns
here.
is a horrible month.
Ugh, yeah. She felt like a legitimate character here, and
Yeah,
I love that about this. And the chemistry between her and Tyler. I mean, granted, they had already been they had acted against each other in crossovers previously, but they were finally let out of the Arrowverse bubble and into something of their own, and the chemistry between the two was impeccable.
yeah. It really was. It really was. That's
Words.
why I love the two of them together. I love how this Lois challenges Clark,
Yeah.
but at the same, I think that's what this version and what Rachel's version gets right. Challenges Clark without trying to be too overbearing. But at the same time, this version is older than many of the other versions that we have had. She don't take no mess. And I love
No.
that. I
Yeah.
love that. I love the mothering aspect. Seeing Bitsy as a like she's a mom in real life, but seeing
Yep.
her as a mom to these two teenage boys. Oh,
Yeah.
she didn't take no crap. She didn't take them, you know. Honestly, am I being mistaken? She didn't want to reveal the secret just yet.
So
Or
she
was it Clark that didn't want to and she wanted to?
so she wanted to, Clark didn't.
Which
Um,
makes sense.
because there's that whole elevator exchange where he's like, if they say the wrong thing to one person one time, everybody knows.
Yeah.
But you were talking about Lois and like her really fiery nature beyond just the kids, the confrontation you see toward the end of the episode where she confronts Morgan Edge.
Yeah. Hey,
Just, yeah.
those two, oh,
Whew.
I love their they have such great, like, honestly, Bitsy has great on-screen chemistry with everybody. When
Yeah.
she first goes to meet Chrissy Beppo and goes to like want to actually work there, and that fiery exchange that they have, and
Yeah.
she's like trying to tell her, like, like, I'm not coming to take nobody's job. Like,
Right.
I want to write. Like,
She's like, I just want to tell the truth.
yeah, like,
Um, and
I love that exchange.
all the stuff
What
between
happens
her and
between
Sam.
her and Sam,
Yeah.
her and Kyle,
Yeah, her and Kyle too.
her and Lana.
Even Lana to a degree. Lana is another one that is vastly improved from her various live action versions. They actually made her a character here, whereas Smallville, she was just a
Damsel in distress,
like a voluptuous object that Clark desired for a time,
and who has chronic head trauma.
I got head trauma watching that show at points. But no, she actually felt like a legitimate character here with her own, her own history, her own flaws. And that's the thing too. A good chunk of this show's characters are original characters, yet they still felt relatable and real.
When let's talk about the kids. Meeting Jonathan, Jordan, Sarah, meeting everybody, the kids of Smallville, Tag and all of them, at the bonfire when Jordan's powers first do manifest. First of all, beautifully done. I love the way they just kept throwing us off, thinking that it was John.
Right, because like we all know John Kent from the comic books,
Yeah,
and this Jordan kind of ended up resembling more of Connor,
yeah.
like just from the way he acts, the way he uses his abilities, which I saw that pretty early on. Of course, they were never going to go as far as calling him that, but I saw that that's basically what they were doing with him, and I was fine with it. I know a lot of people like Jordan was the worst thing about the show for a lot of people. I personally didn't think that.
Me, I love Jordan's journey. I love Jonathan's journey.
Yeah, I mean,
Especially once we get to like the cat. Like I love
oh
both
yeah,
actors for Jonathan, but especially like in the later years with, I'm saying later years, and that's insane that
right.
we have to talk about it like that. Like towards like season 3 on.
With
Like with
Michael
Michael
Bishop,
Bishop,
yeah,
I love his take on the character as well. But
yeah,
like just meeting all these kids, getting their interactions together for the first time. I love how like even like they knew Sarah, they knew of Sarah, they knew of the Cushings, they knew of all of them, but they were never really, cool until moving there. So seeing
right.
how like Sarah, you could tell she kind of had a crush on Jordan, and how Jonathan wasn't trying to be that type of brother, but at the same time, he thought like, oh, maybe I could get her. Like I loved sibling that sibling back and forth type of stuff, and how like once he seen that, oh yeah, she does like Jordan, like he tried to like push him, to do more, to pursue. I loved
Yeah,
those interactions. I love those
yeah.
interactions.
I was surprised, honestly, at especially those first couple episodes. John Kent as a character, he kept getting knocked down and pushed down, and remained just this very kind character that I was surprised that, considering his age, I was like, is it realistic for somebody at this age to be this kind and wholesome? But it was refreshing.
Yeah,
It really
most 15
was.
year olds is kind of dicks. So,
Yeah, they really are. Which you
yeah.
saw in Jordan's thing, which again was realistic, but and I think, just for like some last little brief closing thoughts, because we've just passed 20 minutes on this thing. I swear, over the course of this show, and specifically the pilot, like you talked about before with the cameras that they use, some of the action in this like surpassed what they've done in movies. Even what they did in
Yeah.
movies after, it looked like you were watching a high budget movie the way that they shot some of that
Every
stuff.
week or every couple of months in some
Yeah,
of these cases.
yeah, there were some big gaps in there, but man, like that fight between Clark and Captain Luther in
Yeah.
space, I thought was great. They go to space quite a lot, but it it made a great visual.
When he landed, like when Captain Luther like threw him, like knocked him back down to Earth with the kryptonite or whatever, and
Oh
like
yeah,
he caught
yeah,
himself before you think. I said, "Dog, that looks amazing for
yeah.
TV."
That looked great. And then I think probably the two costumes that you see him wearing that episode, the Rebirth inspired one and the Fleischer one, are probably my two favorite live action Superman costumes that we've gotten.
My favorite scene out of all DC TV shows, hands down, is the Fleischer suit. Like
Yeah.
that's my favorite shot of all of DC TV.
And
That's always be my top.
I think what makes it for me is that line right at the end where he gives the kid his hat. He goes, "Cool costume." He goes, "Thanks, my mom made it," and just flies away. There's
Yeah,
like, that line looks so goofy when you read it on paper, but Tyler delivers it with such an earnestness that you buy into it.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, like I said before, this pilot I think is the best by far out of any of those DCCW shows. Even though a handful of them had good pilots, but man, after watching this one, which is a lot longer than the rest of them, it's 18 minutes longer. I knew we were in for something special.
Yeah, like bro, this 18 minutes was worth it. I remember sitting there like after bro, I was giddy as hell the entire day. What the day the show was gonna premiere. I remember sitting after it was over. I'm like, that's it. Like, that's it. Like don't delete this from the DVR though. I'm gonna come back and watch it tomorrow. Like I told my wife, don't delete it. Like leave it.
Man, you just gave me a flashback to DVR days. Oh my god.
Bro,
Uh,
I had my DVR up until I switched to AT&T, and I just did internet. So I'm like, I'm paying all of this for cable, and
right.
this
Yeah.
I could watch everything I want to watch. DVR it. So what's the point of having it? I could just watch it on streaming the next day. I do it anyway.
No, for the longest time, this was the only thing that I was keeping the CW app for.
Yeah,
That was the only thing I was keeping it installed for because
yeah,
the other shows that were coming to an end around that time, Flash was the only one I was watching concurrently anymore. And let's be honest, it started to suck in the later years, but that's not the point of this. But yeah, this first pilot was great. Or this first pilot, the pilot. There's not multiple pilots. We don't have like a rating system mapped out for this. Maybe we'll develop one as it goes. Maybe, maybe not if we decide that it needs it. But yeah, this pilot was just fantastic. And if anybody is watching
yeah.
this that hasn't seen this show, we probably just ruined the entire pilot for you.
I
But
apologize.
yeah, but by the time that by the time our next installment comes out, just go forward and watch like all 4 seasons. It's only about 50, 53 episodes, give or take. So just binge all that by the time the second one of these comes out, and then you'll be all caught up. Yeah, man.
I think we covered all the
Yeah,
bases.
I think we
So
covered pretty much all of it without diving too much into what comes later.
yeah, so guys, if you want to keep seeing more of these, make sure you like this, share it around to your friends, blow this up. We're about to bring back Superman and Lois supremacy. All right, I just froze again, but it's okay. Remember that Superman and Lois supremacy. So remember, please like, share, and subscribe. This video will be on both channels, so whichever
Yep.
one you do, that is just fine by me. Yeah, we will catch everybody next time.
Yeah, hope you guys
Bye.
enjoyed it. See you later.
Tyler Hoechlin is the greatest Superman of all time.
Correct.
He's on that thing somewhere. I wish I would have got the bigger version. All right, bye.